I'm live, guys. Let me know in the comments section if you can hear me and if the microphone is fixed. I think it's back. Not exactly sure what happened to it, so let me know. I gotta try and figure all this out. If the microphone is fixed, I think it's back. Not exactly sure. Let's see. Got to click back into the actual stream here. I apologize. Just getting to my live control panel. All right. It says it's better now. All right. The Mini Mamba says, Ryan, you remember this happened last year? I do. And I test my audio before I go live. And I'm not sure why this does it. I think it's something to do with me running boot camp on my Mac and then doing this in the Windows side of my computer rather than the Mac side, because I think there's something going on. I'm also using a virtual mixer to capture the phone calls, and that could also be a problem as well. I'm in the beta test program for Streamlabs OBS for Mac, so maybe I will try to do that next week. I'll try to have the stream over there, and then hopefully that kind of eliminates this problem, because I use this microphone for all my videos and I never have this issue, but for some reason this does this when I go live. So I'm not entirely sure how that does it, but whatever. Glad to be back. All right. What are you guys talking about in the chat? You said, what are the chances there is actually a full season? Says, get off my lawn 25. I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say chances 40% for a full season. I think something's going to go sideways. They're going to try like hell to make it happen. For sure. Absolutely going to try. Because there is a ton of money on the line in terms of ad revenue and TV contracts, players' jobs, other people's jobs. Just a lot going on. All right, guys, I'm going to open up the phone lines again. Let's give it another go. Try to get back to the calls here. Remember, if you want your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. Well, I don't know if it's in the description anymore because I just had to redo this thing. So it may not be down there. But if you go to the Jets Discord, then you got your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. Just answer this question. Who is the player the Jets cut?
Chris from Florida.
The Jets had opt out this year.
Send a voicemail. Press 2.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Hey, glad to see your audio has picked up, bro.
I apologize. Man, this is it's one of the most infuriating things because it's not something that I control at all. It's not like I hit a setting or something like that. It's just something that I think because I'm running boot camp and having the two different things, I think that's why that happens. But yeah, what's up, dude?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to follow up on what we were talking about earlier. But it's ironic because everyone was bringing up the whole Juju Smith-Schuster. I gotta say, I'm one of the people that are not really interested in spending the first-round draft pick on Juju this year, and more so it's just because I really like the way Joe Douglas has handled the free agency system so far. Instead of immediately going after players, I've seen how he's waited for the water to settle to see what's still out there, what's being pondered, and then kind of negotiate in and out with players that are still valuable within the leftover pool, and just really try to work out a good deal while he's still trying to rebuild his own team with the draft,
Yeah, look, I think that's going to be important. I think having this team built through the draft and not overspend on free agents, especially guys that are looking to just come to New York to cash out, guys like Tremaine Johnson, guys like Darrelle Revis, potentially C.J. Mosley. Who knows? I mean, maybe he just decided to cash a check and just kind of turn it over. Who knows? I mean, it's just kind of – we want to avoid those kind of players on the Jets, and you don't want to be seen as a retirement plan.
Now, I'm not saying that you already know what NFL players are going to become free agents automatically next year, but as far as the list that you do know, what is a player that you would be interested to see Joe Douglas actually kind of try to vibe for if you had that option?
for me, I think it's offensive line, and I think it's going to be Tooney or whatever, the guard from the Patriots. I think that's who we were going to target in free agency this season, and I think we're going to throw a ton of money at him next offseason. I think it would be a really smart thing for the Jets to do. It's a guy that could anchor that line for the next 5 years. He doesn't cause penalties. I think it would be a huge upgrade. And I think whatever you can do to protect Sam and help nurture this offense, I think is 110% going to be the way that we should do this.
I know he's under the franchise tag now. Could the Patriots franchise him one more time, or is it only one-time option for him?
They could. I mean, it's going to be a ton of money to do it. I mean, they could definitely do it. I don't know offhand what it would be. I do think they have a good amount of salary cap. So I guess depending on how they feel about Cam Newton at quarterback, they're going to have to devote a lot of money potentially to him. Or they're just going to go for a quarterback like maybe Jameis Winston or whoever is just kind of sitting out there that may not want to take a huge deal but still wants a starting shot somewhere. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Patriots do. I don't know if they go to draft a guy or if they just try to win with whatever quarterback they can get because Belichick's a little bit older and may not want to try and groom a quarterback at this stage of his career.
Right. Now, I guess the only other thing is for me is like I don't really fully understand the whole opting out for COVID-19. Is that simply just saying like whether it's voluntary or medically? Is that just stating the fact that if they choose to voluntarily do it, they're out for the entire season regardless if they want to play or not? Is that how it works?
Yeah, once they decide to opt out and they tell the team that they're opting out, they are done. They cannot play this year regardless if they're traded. They can still be traded to whatever team they want. Not that what they want, but whatever team the team wants. But they still cannot play for this season. So there's two different opt-outs. There's the medical opt-out, which means you have a pre-existing condition that makes you more susceptible to this and you're kind of forced to sit out in that sense. And that's the $350,000 stipend. CJ Mosley, I don't believe, has anything like that, so he's going to get the $150,000 stipend. That is totally voluntary on his part. If he wants to protect his family, that I understand it, I get it, but I think a lot of these players, and the reason why the NFL started negotiating to try and accelerate this process is because a lot of players that think they were going to get cut are starting to opt out and just get the some paycheck this year, and then they go into next offseason and then hopefully don't get cut. It's going to be weird. It's going to be interesting to see. And I don't know how this really works. Maybe guys are being smarter, opting out. When I see, what is it, 8 or 9 Patriots that have opted out of the season, something tells me that Belichick knows something. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's something where it's like, hey, let's eat a little bit of cap this year with all these signing bonuses and roster bonuses at the start of the season, have a lower cap hit next year, and then next year we have a lot of money to try and bring in other free agents. Like I could see that being the case, but I just don't know. I don't think it's like a tank for Trevor Lawrence or something like that. But man, something seems like it's up in New England.
But when it comes to the cases of trading a player who's already opted out, are we still going to be able to get hit with that with the contract of the negotiation for trading?
You're out of here. You would get hit with. So anything that was paid out prior, I don't believe you would have to pay. You would probably have to, because their contract's on ice for that year. So you'd wind up, I don't know. I don't know if if we traded Mosley right now, does the other team that trades for him inherit that $10 million cap hit? Like, is that extrapolated over a certain amount of games, or do the Jets already eat that since they've paid it out? That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure what the answer to that would be. But Chris, thank you so much for calling in. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right. What are you guys talking about in the chat over there? Take 2 more offensive linemen next year, a pass rusher, a receiver, and a corner. Got to build that line. I would be down to invest big money in unoffensive linemen kind of each year if McGovern was kind of like that guy this year and Fant, like that's the Wombo combo. If we get Thuney next year, I think that's really good. And then you package, that with a draft pick of a player in a top 3 round. I think that's important.
Noah,
it's good, brother. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I have a question about Bradley McDougall.
Yeah, fire away.
Can Bradley McDougall, can he be effective in the line of scrimmage role that Jamal Adams left us a hole there? Will he be able to cover the ground in the run game?
I would say he's probably being brought in to play more of a free safety role. That's without watching too much tape on the guy. But it seems like he is pretty good in coverage from the Seattle Seahawks fans that I've talked to. Marcus May used to play strong safety in Florida when he was drafted. So we actually drafted 2 strong safeties, which was a little weird. So I could see May coming up and being that Jamal role more so than I see Bradley McDougald. And then I think Ashton Davis, they're going to try and use in third safety sets. They're going to try and work him in throughout the season, and hopefully he can take over one of those safety roles next season. And then hopefully we retain Marcus May after the year.
Also, if Ashton Davis, if he turns out to be good, do you think they'll move McDougald to like a nickel cornerback?
I don't know. It's interesting because we have Brian Poole, who was a phenomenal slot corner. I think we have the outside corners that we're still trying to figure out with Desir and Bless Austin. I think we'll play a lot of 3 safety sets in some capacity. I think Greg Williams is going to get some pretty creative looks there. And Ashton Davis has an interesting skill set because some people considered him a late first-round pick. We got him at the beginning of the 3rd round. I don't know. Based on some of the footage that Joe Blewett showed me, when he was on this show probably like a month and a half ago at this point, 2 months ago. He's not overly high on Ashton Davis. There's a lot of mental lapses that the guy has. He's caught out of position and is lucky that some plays were made by other players because he was out of position and the play could have gone for like 60, 70 yards. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Jets handle this and what kind of playing time that Davis gets. Is he going to be more of a special teamer year one? I think we'll see him more on special teams, but I think he'll be that third safety for us this year.
Okay, and since there's no college football for the D2 teams and not like the main conferences, will there be many like great 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, but also like bust first?
Yeah, so I think what you're going to see in this draft, because I don't expect there to be a college football season, I don't know if they've actually officially canceled it. I know they're canceling some games. Like I think Alabama, USC got canceled. I believe that was the game that was going to be played early on. I think what you're going to see is a lot more busts in the 1st round. I think you're going to see a lot more like lucky swings at guys in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. Guys that could have elevated their stock this season by playing well in their junior and senior years. And I think it's really going to be a crapshoot. I think you're really going to have to lean heavily on your scouting department and just hope that they know how to, scout someone that you're only seeing at a combine, that you're only seeing at a pro day, that you're only getting metrics on. And then you got to think their freshman years, they probably did not play a whole heck of a lot. You might have some playing time from sophomore year, but that's really only going to be like the top 15 picks maybe that have good tape from their junior years or from their sophomore years. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how this draft process works. It's going to be a total crapshoot.
Also, with C.J. Mosley sitting out, and since we have Avery Williamson, who's going to be the second?
Probably Peanut, if I had to guess, the guy we got from Baltimore. I'm sure a lot of Jet fans want to see Cashman take that next step. I don't know. It seems like we have some decent depth based on losing Mosley and Williamson last year, and we still played pretty well. I mean, yes, Jamal Adams played linebacker, around the line of scrimmage, and that helped in the run game. So that's going to be, we're going to lose that. But I think overall, I think this is still a top 15 defense, even without Mosley. I think it's going to be a very scheme-driven defense this year by Greg Williams. I think he'll have to get a little creative, which, the guy's been phenomenal with doing that. So I don't know. I'm not going to be looking so much at the defensive side of the ball as much as I'm looking at the offensive side of the ball and seeing how Sam progresses, how this offense progresses, how Mims plays, how Perriman plays, how the offensive line plays. That's really going to be my litmus test for this year.
Hey, lastly, why didn't the Jets make Greg Williams their head coach? Because he played with Cleveland. He was their interim. He went 8-6 with Baker Mayfield, and then he just lost it.
Ooh, good question, and I'll end it there on that. So thank you for the call in. Now, why was Greg Williams not chosen to be the head coach? I don't know if you're saying for this season or in general instead of Adam Gase. That, I think, largely falls on the whole Bountygate situation. I think he's probably, I don't want to say blackballed from the head coaching role, but I don't think the NFL necessarily wants that stain or mark as a head coach. I like the guy. I think he probably rubs some people the wrong way. I do think he's probably the emotional voice in our locker room from the coaching staff. And I like everything that he does. I have more confidence in him than I do probably anyone else on this coaching staff. I would say him and Douglas are the two guys that feel like the most confident, competent football minds in this team. But I don't think he's going to be a head coach. I don't think... Now, he could be an interim head coach if the Johnsons decided to fire Adam Gase, the first head coach that they would have ever fired mid-season. I don't believe they're going to do it. But if they did do that, I think Greg Williams would be the interim head coach for sure, yeah. I just don't see this being a role for Greg Williams long-term. Hopefully we have him for at least another season. He tends to kind of outstay his welcome after 2-3 years. He's a very abrasive personality to have with a team. And I think that might be an issue, but hopefully kind of, I don't know, maintaining some form of consistency. Like, say we move on from Gase. I would like to keep Greg Williams if we can, so it's not a totally new coaching staff. It's like, okay, you might have a new head coach, or you might have like this or that, and new offensive coordinator, but at least you have some consistency there, and it doesn't totally feel like it's an entirely new team. I think a familiar face is going to be important for this Jets organization, regardless of what happens with Adam Gase. All right, guys, if you want your chance to win a shirt, hat, or mug from the Jets Talk store, you got to go to the Jets Discord. Now, I'm pretty sure that link is no longer in my description because I had to restart the stream. So, if you see it, actually, let's do this. The link in the chat right now, Nightbot is posting that. It's a link to my Twitch. If you send me a whisper over on Twitch, that will also get you entered to win the hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. All you have to do is send me a message. Follow me. Send me a message with what player opted out for the New York Jets. There's two options, really, but I'm looking for the big one.
Eddie from North Carolina.
Eddie from North Carolina. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Ryan. How are you?
Oh, I'm just having a great night. I wish my microphone didn't screw up on me last, 20 minutes ago or whatever it was. But I'm doing all right. What's on your mind?
Well, I think you saw my posts earlier this week. I sent the same things pretty much to Matt O'Leary. My thought was, and I know that you and Matt are not high on this. I understand that. However, I'm thinking this as just
You're saying Clowney?
Perspective. Yeah, Clowney. Okay.
All right, go on. Let's see.
We got $7.5 million because Mosley's opting out. We got $7.5 million more because they cut Winters. I don't know what we're getting because they just let Quincy go. I loved Quincy. God bless him. I feel so bad for his injury, career, but it is the NFL, so that's what happens. But anyway, I think if we give Clowney a conditional contract, low base pay, give him incentives for behaving himself and not getting penalties, and give him a bonus if he can get double-digit sacks. I think as long as it's incentive-based and he writes his own check, then I think it could work out really well. And my feelings are we have a great stop defense anyway. We got Avery Williamson this year. We don't have Jamal, but you know what? We went from a top 1-2 safety to a top 15-20 safety. So I'm not too worried about that. I really am not. What do you think? Do you think we could maybe try to work out something with Clowney that's not going to crush us and at least get his expertise? Just tell him, listen, we got a good run defense. Pin your ears back and just get the quarterback. What do you think?
I don't know. I even when we had the money in free agency to start this whole thing, I was pretty against Clowney. I think the penalties have been an issue. I think the personality doesn't necessarily fit with the type of personality we want to bring into the locker room anyway. And I'm not fully against it. Like, I would be excited. If we got Clowney and he just drops onto the field, it's like, okay, wow, this guy's, a freak athlete. He can take over games. He had dominated probably 2, 3, 4 games last year where he basically, tore apart offenses, even without getting the sack numbers. I think he had 3 sacks last year. I would say this. The probability of the Jets making the playoffs this year with Clowney is probably pretty slim. If you felt Clowney could make that difference and get you into the playoffs, now maybe that's worth losing the cap space that you could get going forward. But for me, if I'm the Jets and I'm looking at potentially a 7-9 season, I'd rather see more out of the rookies I drafted with the limited practice time and then kind of know what we have going into next year with the rollover of cap, because we're going to lose a lot of money in cap space next year. I think it's going to fall to $175 million, which is $25 million less than what it currently is right now. And I think having that cap space, that's kind of where I'm sort of locked in. Like even Logan Ryan, someone that I would have liked to see us get, I would stay away. I think I'm rolling with the guys we got, or I'm bringing in cheaper options. Now, if it's a multi-year deal, like a Juju Smith-Schuster or an Allen Robinson or something like that, maybe you could get me to trade some kind of conditional pick for it, but you have to roll the dice on this potentially not being a player that you can use this year, and you might just have to eat that cap space, and that is the unfavorable part for me.
Well, the thing that a lot of people are overlooking is I think the offense is going to be way better this year than anybody expects. I really do.
I agree, and it's going to be contingent on the offensive line.
Proverb, in Joe we trust.
Sure.
So a caller was mentioning earlier today that if you protect Darnold, he's a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the league. So,
sure.
I mean, Darnold is not a joke, and he's going into his 3rd season, and he works hard. This kid studies. I think the offense is going to be insanely better than it was last year. And we have a competent backup. I mean, we had an Arena League reject as our backup. I mean, Adam Gase didn't even want to call running plays with this guy in there.
Yeah, I mean, last year was bad. The offensive line, the backup quarterback situation was terrible. Like, literally, everything that could go wrong was absolutely awful for the Jets last year.
This is why I think Clowney could be good. Because if you double-team Clowney, you got Nathan Shepard, you got Quinnen Williams, you got Henry Anderson. I mean, you got these are some good.
Boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. You're 5 minutes up, brother. Jadeveon Clowney. It's going to be a hot topic. People want him.
Call from
Big name.
Sam.
Hey, what's good, Sam? How you doing?
Hi, what's up?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. How's your night going?
I'm good. I just wanted to say that I'm just getting into football, and I just wanted to ask how you were.
Oh, thank you. Now, are you coming from any sort of sports background? Was there other teams that you kind of watched sport-wise, or you're just getting into football in general?
I'm just getting into football in general.
Now, did you choose the Jets as your team, or is it like are you still trying to figure out who you want?
I chose the Jets.
Oh, man. I apologize for everything that we're putting you through, because the Jets have I followed my dad in this one. My dad was a big Jet fan growing up, so I kind of fell suit with that. And we had season tickets for a long time, and it was a lot of fun. It definitely, if you gave me the option, like if I didn't have a fanhood, I probably wouldn't choose the Jets. Now, are you local? Are you like New York, New Jersey area?
Yeah.
So that's big, and I love seeing new faces in the Jets fanhood, because that's something that we really lack compared to the Giants. The Giants have won 2 Super Bowls now in the last 12 years, and a lot of younger kids that see those Super Bowls and see those things growing up, they want to root for a winner. They want to root for the exciting team. The Jets just haven't been that in the last 10 years. So one thing that I've noticed is when I simulcast over to Facebook, a lot of the people that are following me over on Facebook feel like they're an older generation, where like you see a Giants kind of YouTube or something like that, you get a lot more of like a youth kind of push, because there's just younger fans because they've been more successful over the last 12 years. So I credit you for coming along this ride with us. Now, do you have a favorite player yet?
Sam Darnold.
Oh, I love Sam Darnold. I think he is the first quarterback that I've watched the Jets have where I look at him, I'm like, wow, he is good. He's going to be good. I understand the statistics don't necessarily back it all up right now, but the guy's got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's got all the talent in the world, and I really am excited for the Jets to kind of move forward with him. I just hope we protect him, and he wants to be here long term because I could see that being an issue in the future.
Yeah.
So what other?
You
you got 2.5 minutes. I'm not letting you off the phone. let's talk this out. I want to hear everything about. Now, do you like other sports? Are there other sports that you kind of came from? Like, did you like baseball or hockey or any of that? Or what made you get into football?
I like baseball, and I have a friend named Eli. He calls in a lot, and he helps
me
me into football.
Oh, Eli. Now, did Eli turn you on to this Jets channel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my boy Eli. Yeah. Eli called in earlier today. So he's a good dude. He's called in a bunch of times here. And look, I love talking to everyone here. It's nice that this channel is small enough where I can really get to know everyone. So I look forward to having you on some more calls, hopefully. You got like 2 more minutes. Is there anything you want to say to Eli? I'm pretty sure he's still sitting in the chat somewhere.
Just want to say thanks for getting into football.
Good stuff, brother. Listen, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna try to get some more phone calls, but thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad to have you aboard this crazy flight we're on. Boom! And you have been ejected from the cockpit. All right, guys. There is a bot in my chat, Nightbot. He's posting a link to my Twitch channel. I'm trying to simulcast and grow the channel across multiple platforms. I am simulcasting over there currently. If you want your chance to win a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store, we've already done the poll question in the Jets Discord link. I no longer have that linked in my description, so I'm going to push people over to my Twitch page for the rest of this. I'm going to pick someone from one of those 2 channels, so make sure you go over to Twitch, follow me, shoot me a whisper, and I'll send you into the raffle at the end of the show.
I sent the caller's voicemail.
Oh, no! I clicked one on the keypad. Sorry, whoever I just tried to answer the phone call for. I accidentally sent you a voicemail. That sucks. I apologize. It's this damn Apple mouse. If you want to get rid of a mouse, who puts the charging port on the bottom of the mouse? Now, when I have to charge this thing, I can't use it because it's obviously when you try to like move around like that, doesn't make sense, doesn't work. This is the worst friggin' mouse you could ever own. Ugh. I have a new mouse. Got a new mouse. It's coming in. I got like 2 weeks, a week and a half. We'll see.
Call from
Josh.
Josh, what's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up? What's up, Ryan?
I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind tonight?
Just want to talk about Sam a little bit. Why are you? I'm a big Sam fan too, but why are you so optimistic about Sam?
I'll be honest, a lot of it has to do with the eye test, and it's something that a lot of fans don't want to hear because they want the statistics to back it up, and we don't necessarily have the wins, we don't necessarily have the touchdown or, smaller interception numbers. Here's what I see from Sam. I watch him and I see some throws that I have never seen a Jets quarterback make, or at least not since probably Brett Favre back in, 2008. I really like what I've seen from Sam Darnold in small doses. Like him going toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers that first year, I thought was incredible. There were some games that you just watch and you're like, wow, this guy just has it. And then you have the games like the New England game where he's seeing ghosts and people are ragging on him for that. I just think he has had the least amount of support from any of the quarterbacks from his draft class, and I believe he's going to wind up being one of the best. I think it's going to be hard to argue with Lamar Jackson, who just got number 1 on the top 100 from players voting. I think he's definitely a good quarterback, and I just want to see a full season without the excuses. Like last year he had mono. This year we're going to have COVID. We're going to have a shortened preseason, or no preseason. We're going to have shortened training camp. Like there's all these things, and I just really want it to not affect him. I want him to just push through, because I think his ceiling is top 5 quarterback. I really do. There's going to be guys that completely disagree. I know I've seen people in the chat that are like, this is ridiculous. You got to go with, like, if the Jets tank and they bottom out, you got to go with Trevor Lawrence. I don't want that for a second. I think Sam Darnold is absolutely the franchise quarterback of the future, and I'm gonna double down on it. I'm gonna keep saying it, and you know what? If I wind up being wrong, I wind up being wrong. But like, I really like Sam a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I got a question. You mentioned like he has the least amount of talent around him from his draft class.
Yes.
Could you at all see like a Ryan Tannehill situation with him, where like he just never takes that next step to being like a elite quarterback? So we let him walk because he hasn't proved anything, but it's really because he doesn't have any talent and the coach isn't great, and then he breaks out somewhere else.
I would say this. I would say that with the Jets not supporting him in his first 2 years of play here, you could see a situation where it's going to take a little bit longer. I'm hoping we see it this year or next year, like year 3 or year 4, and we just re-sign him after year 4, and it just kind of makes sense. Because I don't want to see us go into year 5, and then you're like, oh, well, are we going to franchise tag him, or what's going to happen? I'm hoping we see it in these next 2 years. Now,
yeah, me too.
I would, if we don't see it, I would absolutely spend a ton of money and draft picks and everything to surround him with as much talent as possible. Because even if you are against Sam, it just makes a ton of sense to support him as best you can, because worst case scenario, after year 5 or after franchise tag year or whatever it winds up being with Sam, you have the infrastructure in place to support a rookie quarterback the way we supported Mark Sanchez back in the day. Now, I think Sam's better than Mark Sanchez, and hopefully he can overcome some of the obstacles that have been kind of laid out in front of us because of the way Mike McCagnon drafted. But I don't understand why people want to try and pass on Sam right now for a quarterback when the infrastructure just is not there to support a quarterback coming in.
Okay, so I got 2 questions before you eject me.
Sure.
So number 1, do you think they will get enough talent around Sam Darnold where it's at least like an average offense around him, like he has like an average O-line, an average receiving core, like a solid group of tight ends? So do you think
I would say this. I think this year our weapons are underrated. Perriman is a big question mark. Mims is going to be a big question mark. But Sam has really liked to play inside the hashes. That's perfect spot for Crowder, for both our tight ends, Herndon and Griffin, who we've seen a good connection with, and with Le'Veon Bell. So I think we're fine in the weapon department right now. We don't know who that number 1 is going to be. Is it going to be Mims? Is Mims going to fall into the number 2 role? I think that's going to be, a little bit interesting to see. What's your second question? You got 15 seconds.
Second question is, I think I forgot, but so my last question will just be, what's the record prediction?
Ooh, I heard it just before I ejected you. Record prediction. I'm going to say 7-9. I think 7-9 is what we get, but I think it's going to be a more palatable 7-9. I think we're going to get a better offense for sure out of this team this year.
Eli, sorry for calling in again.
To accept, press
Ooh.
1.
Eli's calling in. Sorry, Eli. I'm going to try and get to another call. I love you, dude. Thank you so much for plugging the channel and getting your friend involved into the channel as well. You got to work on your microphone. Your microphone's stupid loud and raspy, and I don't know why that happens. It's the only one that I've seen like that. But yeah, no, I love that you got the new Jet fan hooked in here, and he's joining the channel. That warms my heart. That means a lot. If you share it with a friend and you get them involved with the channel, it's really cool to see, because it's something that like I share YouTube channels with some of my friends, along the way, and I think it's really a testament or a good endorsement that someone cares enough about a channel to share it with their friend, and I think that means a lot, and it means the world to me, Eli. It really does. Thank you so much.
Call from
Beastmaster69.
Beastmaster, what's good, dude? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. What's on your mind tonight?
All right, so this is going off of like the last one about Sam.
Yeah.
So I think he is better than Mark Sanchez, and I feel like hands down, if you would have put him on the team that Mark Sanchez was on, he would have won that Super Bowl.
it's tough for me to say it right now because I absolutely agree that he's better than Mark Sanchez, and I think that team was phenomenal. But that defense is really what hurt us in the postseason. It's weird that Sam actually, or not Sam. It's weird that Mark actually played well. Now maybe you argue we get a home game potentially, and maybe that helps. I don't remember exactly what the Patriots' records were those years that would have caused us to miss the division, but maybe that happens and maybe that changes the dynamic. Like maybe if we're not playing in Pittsburgh or we're not playing in Indianapolis, maybe that kind of helps us, long term. We have to get back to building this strong offensive line the way we did for Mark Sanchez and have that ground and pound, but also have the complement of being able to throw it out of the, into the flat, into the, between the hash marks. I like Sam. I believe in Sam. I really do.
And I feel like, despite, because other than Josh Rosen, I think Sam has been in the worst situation, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure.
The fact that he's been able to make some type of, he's been able to salvage some of that despite having mono and, being injured and all that stuff, I feel like we actually have somebody that can do the job. He may not be like a Aaron Rodgers or whatever. I mean, the Ravens won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, so I think he'll be enough if we get the right pieces around him.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're looking at young quarterbacks that you really want around the league, who do you want? I mean, Russell Wilson, let's call Russell Wilson the threshold. Like, you want younger than Russell Wilson at this point. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's, Lamar Jackson. It's, who the hell am I? Deshaun Watson. Baker, I think Baker's probably on the same level as Sam in some capacity. I think you could probably argue one way or the other. There's pros and cons to both. Like, you might be able to say, like, hey, Baker's maybe a little more accurate or gets the ball out maybe a little faster than Sam, but then you might have the maturity and, the upside of Sam. So I think there's that. I don't know. I think Sam is a quarterback that, draws players to want to play with him, or at least like Joe Douglas. I think a large reason why he came to the Jets is because of Sam Darnold. I think that's him signing on with us. He had to like Sam because you had to know we're going to go all in on him for the next 4 years at least.
Yeah. And talking about free agents.
Yes.
I'm kind of on and off about signing a pass rusher because I feel like, yes, we should, but we shouldn't. And I think I understand on why the team wouldn't want to, because we have two rookies. Yeah, we have Huff and we have Zuniga. I think Greg is really invested in Zuniga, and he thinks that he can be an all-pro.
I really hope so. I would fall in line with that thinking with in terms of not wanting to sign a free agent pass rusher. I think you're going to spend a ton of money, and I think the money might be better suited in drafting a pass rusher if you think that there's a beast there. Now, if you like Yannick and Yannick's available and he wants, say, maybe you get him for $18 million or $19 million a year next year, now I could get on board with that. I think he's a good pass rusher. You don't have to waste a pick on him, and it's an immediate impact where maybe a guard or I don't know, maybe there's some other positions that you could draft that might be more impactful than an edge rusher right off the bat. Maybe it takes a year or two to kind of to progress there. I don't know. It's weird. Free agency is going to be very interesting this year with everything going on.
And the other thing is, Min to me is the deciding factor what we do with that first pick next year.
Do you think it could be wide receiver if he doesn't play well?
Yeah, I think it could.
I think it could in that maybe we just want to double down and help Sam, but I think we're not going to give up on Mims after 1 year. I think we'd probably invest maybe another second in a wide receiver and then maybe try to target areas of weakness with that with those 2 first-round picks more so than wide receiver. But thank you so much for calling in. Guys, what do we got? We got 6 minutes left here, so I'll talk a little bit of commentary in the chat here, and we'll also try to get some of the. Let me pull up the Jets Discord. Let's see how many people got in on this hat, shirt, or mug giveaway. I got a few people over on Twitch. You guys are... Jet for Life 5 is over on Twitch. Curdy, my boy. He's always supporting the channel. It's a good man. We got... What is that? Kilted. Thank you so much. Pulling over there. David B. CJ Mosley, the highest paid three-quarter middle linebacker in football. I think he's the highest paid middle linebacker in football anyway. Could be wrong on that. Let's see. Let me go down into this section. Where is it? Where's the poll section here? All right, poll section. Here we go. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people saying CJ Mosley. All right, that's what I like to see. All right, so between the two different social media platforms that I've pushed you guys to, I want you guys to list off a number 1 through 5, and then a number 1 through 3. I'm going to do something a little different, something I hadn't done before. We'll see how it goes. See what you guys kind of come up with. I got a 4 in there. What other number? And we got a 1. No, we won't go with 1 because it's the same. It's Jet Life again. We'll go 4 and 2. So 4 and 2. So 8. I'm going to multiply it. 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 is the number that I'm going to wind up going through. And let's pull up Twitch at the same time so I can kind of loop everyone in. Ooh, we got a few guys over on Twitch. Man, the Mini Mamba's over there. James, Mees. Mess. Jets, mess. Jets, mess. That makes way more sense. Nebra Falls is another one over there. Jet for Life 5. Oh, you guys are good. You guys are real good. All right. So I got to pick 8. So let's see. We got... Start over on Twitch. No, we'll start over on the Discord. Start on the Discord, then I'll work my way over. All right. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. All right, I got one name from Discord. I'm gonna go for one name from Twitch, and then I'll write it down. And then I'm gonna give you guys an option of 1 or 2, and you guys are gonna wind up picking the winner. Which one it is? Let's see. Who do I want? Who do we get from 1 over here? 1 was... All right. And number 2. What do we got over there? Number 2. Sorry. Just trying to get everything into there. All right. All right, guys. I got my 2 names written down. 1 is from the Jets Discord. 1 is from the Twitch channel. And I want to see a number 1 through 2. 1 or 2. And let's go the first number to get to 10 votes will be the winner. So I got a 2. So you guys already commented 1 and 2. I'm starting from Lame Cactus. Lame Cactus just threw a 2 up there. So another 2. Mini Mamba says 1.5. I'm going to round that down to a 1. Beastmaster says 1. 2, 2, 2. 2. 1, 2. God, I'm running out of fingers. All right. It's going to be number 2. Number 2 is going to be the winner here, and number 2, it's going to be Jets mess. You are the winner of tonight's hat, shirt, or mug giveaway. The pusher, you were the one I chose for the Discord. That apparently our friends in the chat don't like you. No, I'm kidding. All right. Jets mess. Reach out to me on Twitch. Let me get your information. Shoot me a whisper, because then I can actually talk to you privately. I'll see if I can. I think I can actually reach out to you. Ah, cool. I'll reach out to you. Boom! Winner. Let me get your information so I can send you a hat, shirt, or mug from the Jets Talk store. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in again tonight. I'm going to be back here the same time next week, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, taking your phone call questions. And tomorrow night, we have our Talkin' Jets panel with me, Green Bean, and Matt O'Leary. We have all our commentary coming up from everything going on in Jets world, from CJ Mosley to Brian Winters to Quincy Enunwa. Everything going around the NFL. So make sure you tune into that. Guys, this is Jets Talk, signing off. Jets!